Okay, I don't have a job number to this yet, but this is a Mercy housing project. I'm out here in Lake Stevens, and I forgot the name of the complex here. Darn it. That's okay. Anyways, like I said, it's a Mercy housing project. Now I remember it's called Lake Stevens Manor. So I'm pointing in the direction of where the entrance is. You come into the main entrance, you got the leasing office, the playground. You come up here, and this is where all these stalls here in the front will end up reserving because we're looking at concrete repair. Okay, so project manager needs to know that stall 30, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then probably these two stalls in here. So probably would block this off, and then this would be our route of travel going through here. So from this sidewalk right here, from the road, it's about 115 feet in. So 4 foot wide sidewalk, exposed aggregate. You make your way back here, and at unit 31, they want an ADA ramp. I told the customer here at Mercy Housing that, we're no engineers, but I could give an idea of what needs to be done. They want an ADA ramp coming out of this door. They want it to come out of this door and then be able to have access to get out. So as I was looking at this, I was noticing that a few things would have to happen in order to create this ramp. We'd have to raise that up, obviously, create a pad that's higher, ramp it down to this corner, and then bring it down from the corner here and ramp it all the way down to this location. That being said, I think this sidewalk needs to be moved over. This panel needs to be removed. This panel needs to be removed. And I'm saying that because of the huge gap that's in the concrete here. You see there's a huge gap right here. So I figured we might as well get rid of this panel here, plus that panel there. We could probably keep this panel right here, potentially. So that way they have access on this sidewalk going through here. Okay, so let's talk about removal here. I say we remove this sidewalk here, which is currently a 12 by 4. Okay, so we would take out the 12 by 4, 4-inch depth. Over here, we would take out this piece of sidewalk right here. This is a 6 by 4, that panel. So we would remove that. Okay. Then we're going to take out this panel here. This is an 8 by 4 panel. We would take out that 8 by 4 panel. And then over here is a 6 by 4. Might actually have to take it out farther because of that crack. So I will just do a saw cut. Do a saw cut and create a different joint right here. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll have to go 9 feet. So this will be a 9 foot by 4 foot panel that we would saw cut out right here. Take this out. Okay. Placement. Put in a new sidewalk here. Okay. And I think what we would do is I think we'd want to put in a drain pipe potentially. So I think what would be smart is if we put in a small little 12-inch by 12-inch catch basin there, and then run a pipe out here into the grass, so that way it can filter out underneath here. So it's not like we have to pop out a main line out this way, but I think it'd probably be smart if we ran something out here like a pipe that is about 20 feet long and just let it drain. I mean, we could just put a catch basin there and then and then let it drain into some drain rock. That could be a possibility. I know the water, could flow on the concrete, but I think they probably don't want to do that as much as possible. So I would say it's probably best to put a 12 by 12 basin there and then run some pipe down in with some drain rock, so that way it'll just kind of drain into the soil through here. Okay, so we'll need one of those. And then what we pour back is one big sidewalk here. So it's 4 feet plus an extra 3 feet. So this would end up being a 12 by 7 that we would put back at 4 inches. 12 by 7 exposed aggregate. Okay. We would put back this 8 by 4. We'd put back this 9 by 4. Over here now is where it gets a little tricky. So here's the idea I wrote up, and telling the customer that they're going to have to provide railing in order to do this, but we could potentially raise that landing up there. Right now it's only about 4 feet, and I believe it needs to be 5 feet. So we'd have to come out to where that step is right here and create a 5-foot landing here. So yeah, we would create a landing here, but I think we can keep that that existing pad there and pour right over the top of it. So we would just leave that there, pour in a 7-foot wide by 5-foot wide pad right there. It's going to be about 12 inches up there, and then down here on this step it'll be a little bit bigger. So let's go 4 by 7 at 12-inch depth, and then a 7 by 2. Hold on. I'm sorry, a 7 by 1. We would pour 7 by 1 and form right on the outside of this last step and fill this in order to get this filled in all the way to the top. Okay, so 7 by 1, and then we'd go 2-foot depth here on this section. So 2-foot depth. I'm overestimating there on that a little bit, but that would definitely fill that in on that step. So that way we've got a nice 7 by 5 landing here. And then we would come out from the doorway. We'd probably make this 4-foot wide, or maybe even 5-foot wide. Yeah, probably make it 5-foot wide and bring it down. So this would end up being a ramp that goes from this last step here downward to about 16 inches down here. Okay, so this would be a 5-foot by what was that? This would be a 5 by 7 ramp to this corner here. So 5 by 7 to the end of the foundation. We'd go probably an average there of a 16-inch depth, so 1.5 feet. And then from that location, this direction, as you can see on my drawing, we would create this ramp. It's not going to be 16 feet. It's going to be, -5. So you're looking at 11 feet approximately. Let's just say 12 feet from there, from that landing where the bike is. It'll come down this way and then end right about in this location here is what I'm thinking. That's why I'm extending the sidewalk over this far, so that way this ramp could come down and approximately land right in this area here. So that'd be about a 12 by 4 ramp. Average depth on that is going to be probably 8 inches. So that's my idea, and I told the people at Mercy Housing that this is just an idea. I'm not an engineer. This is just something that I've drawn up that I think could work, and they'd be able to keep this sidewalk coming through here, have this ramp coming down. They'd be able to get out, and then the sidewalk will continue all the way to here, so that way they can come down off the ramp and then have access onto the concrete sidewalk. Now, this ramp does not have to be exposed aggregate. It can be broom finish. Broom finish all the way up to the step there. Everything else, though, we want to make that exposed aggregate. So now you're looking at, you know, 2 different types of concrete, which I understand is probably a pain in the rear. But, you know, the guy knows that it's not going to be a cheap project either. So we determined that after I was talking about it. I said, you know, it's not going to be cheap. When we go to pour this ramp, we don't have to pour all the way up against the building there. We can leave a space there, and it's probably a good thing. So that way we're not blocking the vents. There'll be a railing going through here anyways. Okay? So that's it. That was pretty much the idea. I'll talk about this more with our team to see if that's something that we can do. All right. Probably need to know if we can block this off and they have access around the back. So I'm walking towards the back here to see if they've got sliding glass doors. They do not. Okay, so there's no way out except for out the front door. So they'd have to be out of their places while this work is being done. Everybody that's here at 30, 31, and 32 will have to be notified that as we're doing this project, they're gonna have a hard time getting in and out of there. 32 and 30 actually probably could still come in and out, except for on one of the days. Obviously, when we're doing this work here, it's gonna be tough for them to get out of here. So I think probably the best thing to do would be to see if they could be out of here for about 3 days, because I'm guessing it's probably going to take about 3 days to do. Okay, any other questions, let me know.